It is a point of familiarity, both positive and negative. In other words, sometimes the South Node can be our gifts we bring through. Sometimes it can be what we call that Achilles heel, or that spot that always catches us and takes us down or has us repeating the past. It's also known as a point of stagnation. Now, the transiting South Node is always going to be the leading edge of healing and releasing the past on an egoic conscious level. The North Node is the leading edge of development of the soul's ego in this life. It represents insecurity, as it is unknown or uncharted territory. It is our dharma. It is how we move forward into the future on a conscious egoic level. So it has about it almost a sense of destiny or a magnetic pull to move us forward. The North Node represents a point of movement versus that stagnation of the South Node. The transiting North Node is the leading edge of developing new egoic skills into the future on a conscious level. Now, the moon's nodes are always exactly opposite each other. The rest of the planetary nodes are not. And so what we have happen when we look at the nodal axis and both of them together, the past South Node and future North Node are always in tension in the present moment. And that present moment being represented by the moon, or thinks it's in charge, and it tries to control everything on a conscious level. And to that, as we evolve, as we take responsibility for any victimization or sense of powerlessness, our evolution means source energy evolves, the evolving force. Because again, on the ultimate levels, there is no victimization. And so this can be one of the ways in which we work to expand conscious awareness of our co-creation in the world and work towards I will, my will, divine will. That mantra alone will give you the courage to stand up when you need to, sincerely practicing it. Think about it. Do you really think that source energy thinks that it's okay to kill somebody else or hurt somebody else? No. Another little phrase of mine I didn't get in here. Your freedom ends at my nose. Your freedom ends at my nose. In other words, we do have freedom in the world, but we don't need some book to tell us that we don't get anywhere when we just hurt each other. I think Leroy gets a little tired of me because, I watch what goes on collective levels in the news, and one of my favorite sayings is, we can't bomb our way to peace. And he responded tonight and says, well, I don't know if the U.S. wants peace. You're right. I don't know if the consensus wants it either, but that doesn't mean we have to buy into it. We can be a part of learning how to love one another. Now, the victorization side, we also have to be careful of re-imprinting and hopefully releasing old cycles of being the sadist, the victor, or power over. So here we're going to address unconscious anger issues. Now, the anger will exist on both sides, victimization and victorization. But there will be unconscious anger issues here that have us wanting to get back, because it's easier to get back than look at our roles. This is where we can work to heal any natural guilt complexes, and it has to start with self-forgiveness. This is also where we might work to let go of any addiction issues. substitutes of addiction. And by the way, addiction is not just physical, drugs and alcohol. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual as well. It operates on all four levels. Emotional addictions is being so codependent, you're addicted to another soul. Mental addictions, there can be endless. You've got to, you know, manipulate and lie and control another person in order to feel on top and feel secure. Again, not wanting to look at yourself. Spiritual addictions, there are those who are in the metaphysical world who sometimes operate in their little spiritual ivory towers. And when they do that, they're no better than the consensus fundamentalist. We can become addicted to living in our ivory tower and wanting nothing to do with the Virgo polarity of service out there on a consensus level. Spirituated holds individuated and consensus within its arms. Do you follow that through? So here's where we really, on the power over end of the spectrum, are needing to release that and learn how to be again of service to another person, to another group, to the planet, etc. With the South Node, we're going to have our dream cycles magnified, and we can also utilize those dream cycles to make the unconscious conscious and work to heal the past. Jeffrey Green used to say that the dream cycles went in a lunar cycle, month to month. I don't remember whether it was so much new moon to new moon in the sky or your own, transiting moon, conjunct natal new moon. I don't think that it's not so much the detail of that. It's just charting the cycling of the dream world over time. There are basically three types of dreams. Most of our dreams, by far vast majority, junk dreams. This is where we have to release the excess thoughts that we're bombarded with, the excess experiences we're bombarded with in this modern world of ours. Leroy and I realize that if we watch too much TV at night of any sort, it goes into our dream world. And that's where we work it out. That's where we make sense. That's where we release it. Past life dreams, of course, it's literally taking past life experiences and making them conscious to then hopefully use some therapeutic tools to resolve the imprints or wounds so that we don't continue to repeat that past. Jeffrey used to say that when you have a past life dream, it will feel like you're waking up coming out of a long, long tunnel. And you're very disorientated, and it takes you a while to recognize that you are in current life. He used to say the dreams tended to be black and white, but I know people who dream past lives in Technicolor. So no absolutes there. And the third type of dreams are superconscious dreams. We tap into the Akashic records. We tap into larger cycles of consciousness, unconsciousness on a collective level, and we're tapping into that via the past, present, or future. Future would be the Nostradamus type with the visions and the dreams. Past would be tapping into those Akashic records, not only for ourselves, but on, again, collective levels or groups. And then, depending on what we tap into, heal the past, evolve the present, work to change the future. So you may want to pay attention to the dream world as you are going through this next 18 months. Some of the distortions that we might see with this nodal axis transit, South Node Pisces, is issues around insanity and schizophrenia, and a lot of the mental health diseases might be emphasized. Souls that are extremely depressed, have no egoic structures, can be susceptible to possessions of some type. We can go the opposite of that and have inflated egoic structures and have somebody think they're the next Jesus. We can have all kinds of disassociations, the multiple personalities, the hearing voices, all of the extremes to the psyche that can go on via experiences of the past. These can come up again. If they do come up again, they're needing to be healed. We will find this in the news over the next year or two, and perhaps we might start doing something in the United States about the mental health